Anyone who's shot with a camera knows that amazing feeling of taking a photo. But for some people, the camera becomes a little bit more than just a tool. It becomes an extension of your creative mind, an extension of your creative soul, a pathway to help make your ideas a reality. I know that may sound a little bit hippie-ish, but that's just how I feel about my gear. Hey, what's up guys? This is Tomas Keck here, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite cameras, the Canon 90D, again. So let's just get right into it. If you haven't seen my first video, the Canon 90D is a beast. Please be sure to watch that because I'm going to be touching a lot on the things that I discussed earlier and about why this is one of my favorite cameras for wildlife photography. Now, I got the Canon 90D back in, it's probably been a little bit more than a year now, and this camera's been with me through thick and thin, through all these crazy situations, from negative 20 Fahrenheit temperature cold days to super hot like 100 other days, and it has been just a dream to work with because it is reliable, it gets the results that I really want, and most importantly, it's just a pleasure to use. Canon did a really good job of laying out the Canon 90D and all of their other Canon cameras to make it so I don't even have to think before changing the settings on my cameras. This camera came out a couple years ago, and it is still proving to be a major contender for wildlife photographers who are picking out their camera. The big thing for this camera is its crop sensor, and it has 33 megapixels. That is huge with wildlife photography because one, it adds focal length to your lens. I know adds is a weird term in this situation, but it basically makes it so that when you're using a 600mm lens, it turns into a 960mm lens. I think I'm doing that right. 600 times 1.6. I don't know, I'm not too much of a math guy, but you get my point. It adds focal length to your lens, it adds extra reach, so you're able to get those wildlife shots without having to get too close, which quite often disturb the wildlife and ruin your shot. The 33 megapixels make it so that you are getting insanely sharp shots, and you can zoom in and crop in super tight on a variety of photographs to get some crazy detail. That is something that I have really grown to like with the 90D, is I'm able to do that, and I'm able to make very large prints. And there's some people that say this is a crop sensor camera, so you can't be getting too much detail. You actually are. Here's a couple of samples. Here's a great egret attempting to grab some prey. Here's a red-breasted merganser grabbing some prey. You can see here that I can crop in super tight and still get some great images, stuff that I can publish on articles, put in videos, do whatever I really want with them, make prints. You know, the world is yours in that situation. So the sensor is great. I love the sensor. The CR3 files, the raw Canon files that come out of this camera, are great, especially when dealing with shadows. I can bump up those shadows and save some images that previously were crap and that I would have thrown away in any other circumstance. But because of those CR3 files, I'm able to bring up those shadows and save images that turn out to be some of my favorite images. That means backlit images can be saved, backlit images can be used, and that is great, especially in wildlife photography where I don't always have the time and the luxury of time to quickly change my settings so I can make sure that the subject is properly exposed. I can blast off a few shots hoping that I'm getting at least a little bit of light in a circumstance where maybe the wildlife is moving or something, and boom, I can get some really nice shots even when the subject is backlit. Another great thing about the Canon 90D is something I discussed in the last video, is its drive mode. It has super fast continuous shooting. That's 11 frames a second. That is, in my opinion, ideal when you're doing wildlife photography. You want something like that. Having a very fast drive mode makes it so you have more shots to choose from, so you can choose your favorite pose of whatever bird, mammal, insect, whatever you're shooting with. Another great part about the Canon 90D is you're getting ergonomics that are more readily seen in, quote, higher end cameras. It makes it so that you can easily find any different setting button or shortcut to try to access your settings or whatever you might want to access in the camera, and you can do it in a blink of an eye, which is very important for wildlife photography. Another great thing about the 90D is its flippy screen. Having a flippy screen is really, really important nowadays, especially when you're trying to frame up angles. I've had to use this flippy screen on many, many occasions, especially when shooting photos of stuff I'm trying to get very low profile. And if any of you know me, you know I like my nice blown out backgrounds. Having a nice low profile when taking certain images helps me get those super blown out backgrounds. So having the flippy screen is super, super important, especially in cases like this. The weather sealing in this camera, I can attest, is also very good. I've had no problem shooting with this camera in the snow, in the rain. Now, it's not like I'm dropping this camera in water or, as I like to say, a vat of acid. But I am confident that when I can go out and shoot with this camera in the elements, I'm not gonna have a problem. Doesn't stop me from buying that extra little Canon insurance though, because as a wildlife photographer, I know I'm gonna be in risky situations, and if I ever drop that camera anywhere, I kind of want to have the peace of mind of knowing I can get it fixed without having to spend enough money to buy a whole new camera. The viewfinder in this camera is also an amazing asset. I've mentioned in my previous video that I'm getting a crystal clear picture in my viewfinder, and a picture that is really comparable to the higher end cameras like the 5D or the 1D series. I believe it actually uses the same pentaprism technology that the 5D series uses. Features that are present in the $3,000 range, in the $1,000 range, with semi-professional to professional bodies like the Canon 90D. So that is super nice to have and a great feature. Hey, I'm not complaining. Keep those features coming. I would be remiss to mention some of our sponsors today. Nitecore chargers. I love using cameras out in the field away from any source of power. So it's great to have great power banks like Nitecore chargers where I can easily plug in wherever I am to get some extra juice for my batteries just in case I run out some. So it helps me go out there and shoot for a lot longer. Be sure to check out Milford Photo. Milford Photo is my favorite camera store. I've mentioned it in every single one of my videos. It's a local brick and mortar store, great people, great products, and most importantly, you know where your money's going. It's where I bought my Canon 90D and where I plan to buy most of my camera equipment. So if you guys are in the market for getting a new camera, be sure to check out milfordphoto.com today. Guys, thank you. I know this is a short video, but I just wanted to show you guys some great things about the Canon 90D, a part 2 video to my part 1 last year. And I hope you guys have a great summer, happy shooting, go out there, get some pictures, and most importantly, don't forget to have fun. Peace out.